We are going to talk about WAGHALA massacre. Everything you wanted to know about WAGHALA massacre. In 2007, there was tension. 1,000 Kenyans lost their lives. 1984, 5,000 members of the Degodia sub-tribe were killed in a single day. If you take the number of Kenyans who died due to the 2007 election, you multiply by 5, and those people died in a period of 3 months. But WAGHALA, it was in a single day. 5,000 people were killed in a single day. Gunshot. What is the meaning of the word WAGHALA? We know massacre. WAGHALA is an airstrip. Those days it was on the outskirts of Wajir. But you know, nowadays because of development, maybe it may not be still there. It may be within the town. People were killed at the airstrip. 5,000 men. All their names are known. Their ID numbers are known because they were adults, adult men. And if you go to Wajir, you'll find a list of all of them. So the 5,000 is not exaggerated. But why people with Nywele Ngumu from down Kenya, that is the security team, why should the security team decide to kill 5,000 people from one tribe? WAGHALA was the civilian airstrip of Wajir. The name Wajir, wazungu waliandika Wajir, J-I-R. But we people from down Kenya pronounce it as Wajir, J-I-A. But the natives call it Wajer, J-E-E-R. Between the police lines and the district commissioner's office, where there is a junction, there is a borehole called Olhale. This borehole, hata kuwe na kiangazi kubwa namna gani, it will never dry up. It will never dry up. So people preferred this borehole. You could go there, find a lot of people waiting. So as you wait, mnapiga gumzo hapo kando mkingoja. So Wajer means gumzo. Some people say it is baraza, but original meaning of baraza we understand. But nowadays, if you mention baraza, you imagine provincial administration calling people. But a place where you just pick a story when you wait for your turn to water your animals is a gumzo. So that is the name of Wajer. When they were constructing a civilian airstrip, they looked for a place outside town. That place had a lot of monitored lizard, brukenge. So in the local language, brukenge or monitor lizard is called WAGHALA. So there was an airstrip at WAGHALA area, and people were, just like in Nairobi, if people are to be killed at Wilson Airport, we can call that place Wilson Massacre, so WAGHALA Massacre. And why did people... The district commissioner is now the deputy county governor of Vihiga. He was the district commissioner. The OCPD was Mr. The OCPD was Mr. Namwoso. Gubiba was the OCS, and Maina was the DCIO. So the District Security Committee had a problem with the Degodia tribe. They discussed it. They were unable to find a solution. They handed it over to the Provincial Security Committee. The PC Northeastern was Benson Kaaria. The PPO was Mr. Aswani. The Special Branch Officer was Mr. Okello. And the Provincial CID Officer, I've forgotten his name, but he never left Northeastern. One day he locked himself in the office at Garissa and shot himself dead. That is the Provincial Security Committee. You know, killing so many people has its own. Mr. Okello, the Provincial Special Branch Officer, later had mental problems. Killing people, anyway, has its own consequences. So, they were unable to decide. So they handed it over to the National Security Committee. You remember, National Security Committee visited Wajir, which included Ambassador Bethuel Kiplagat. Now, what was this problem? Somalis have different sub-tribes. One of the sub-tribes is the Degodia. They had issues, conflicts with their neighbors. So whenever a neighboring sub-tribe attacked Degodia, suddenly security officers would spring in action as if they are waiting for that. But when Degodias attacked other sub-tribes, action was very little, or it was seen to be. So people started saying that Degodia was the tribe of the government. When you listen to the President Moi talking on radio, those days there were no TVs in Wajir, they would say, sikilizeni President wenyu. And Degodias would tell other Somali sub-tribes, sikilizeni President wetu. Whenever a GK vehicle would pass, somebody would tell a Degodia, look at your vehicle going through. Or a Degodia would tell somebody from another sub-tribe, Somali sub-tribe, that look at our vehicle. So it was referred to as the royal tribe or the royal sub-tribe. So, and there was a belief that consequently, they gathered a lot of firearms. They had so many firearms, and the government wanted to recover those firearms. So a very simple thing, a very simple trick was done to them. They were told that their president, Moi, was coming to visit Wajir. So vehicles went around. Actually, some of the drivers who are the military, police, or the security drivers with their lorries, some of them were even Degodias. So vehicles went around. Degodias were being told to go to the airstrip to collect, to meet their president. So they went there happily, and whatever, they left their families behind, so that when the plane drops down, the president they would receive their president. When they reached there, the airstrip has barbed wires, and you cannot leave. So it was, they were locked there. They were told, you should not leave until you produce a gun. And constables were told, how many people are there? There are so many. So if we get 2 missing, we want 2 rifles. If we get 10 missing, the number of those will be missing. So these policemen, you know, Nairobi, the normal temperature, hot temperature is around 22. But Mandera, it goes up to 39, 40. And then you are placed on the tarmac. So they were told they cannot leave the tarmac unless and until they produce guns. The police officers, first of all, the police officers who are of low education quality were told, if anybody disappears and you'll be charged in court with letting a prisoner run. So don't leave these people. Police officers stayed, as you hear the Somalis saying that police officers, they stayed on a hot, you see that is their home area, but they stayed on a hot for a few days and take a person from down Kenya, let's say from Timboroa. See, he feels the sun more than the Somali. So they stayed, the hunger that these people had, and the policemen were also blaming these people. You see, you are in a hot sun, so you feel these people are the ones who are making you be in the hot sun. So you hate them also. Women stayed, women were raped, yes, and whatever. So women, after 1 or 2 days, they discovered that their men were at the airstrip. So women came and started shouting, wailing and whatever. And you know, men, where children are and where women are, men want to show that they don't fear anything. Kwani iko nini? Wacha niende. So when the women came and started wailing there, the men told the policemen that they should release them and they go. Otherwise we will go on ourselves. Policemen said, if you go, we will shoot you. These Degodia men went and tried to scale the wire mesh and go to the other side where women were. And they were fatally shot. Over 5,000 people, well documented, and if you go to Wajir, you'll find all their names, all their ID and all their particulars, and they are known where they came from, including their graves where they were buried. That is the story about WAGHALA massacre.